thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome in to the Thursday edition of the Brian Snow Show. And boy, we have an absolutely loaded show for you this afternoon. We'll go around the horn to start the festivities. I will tell you all about a project that I just thought of this morning, but am hoping to gain some traction by it. Talk about how colleges rely on an honor system when checking the sexual assault background of student athletes and why that shouldn't be the case. Oakland Mayor Michael Sheng Thao shared plans with Major League Baseball to keep the A's. We'll talk about that. And I'll be joined here at the bottom of hour one by my good buddy Matt Taylor, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts. And then during the second hour, we're going to talk Women's Football Alliance with both Michael Burmy and Brian Sweeney. It's going to be a loaded show for you on this Thursday afternoon. But I'll use now to talk about the project that I have in mind. You see, I watch a YouTube channel hosted by one Tom Grossi, and he did an amazing project. And that project was called 30 for 30, where he visited every NFL stadium in the country. And that kind of started turning a wheel in my head, started ringing a bell in my head. And then to see that, and then to remember the wonderful anniversary present that my wife gave me during our vacation, which was a trip to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City to get a tour of Kauffman Stadium. And not just the bleachers or the dugout. I had a chance to take a picture in the dugout, and I had a chance to visit the broadcast booth. I just can't believe that happened. Visited the Bally Sports booth and the radio booth where the legendary Denny Matthews calls games. Ryan Lefebvre calls games as well. And it was awesome. What I want to do is copy what Tom Grossi did and put 3 causes behind it. And I'm not trying to outdo him or anything. I just want to do this project as well as host my shows, cover games, help my family, and help 2 causes that are very dear to me. The first cause is, of course, actually 3 causes, and I'll explain them all. The first one is to help my family get back on their feet. Because of my health problems, as you all know, I fought blood clots in both my lungs and pancreatic cancer, and that was a 2-year fight in and of itself. We got those 2 causes. I want to raise money for my family, for cancer research, and I want to donate a chunk of money to the Hamlin Foundation, to the Damar Hamlin Foundation, because they did an incredible job. The rescue team did an incredible job to get him revived. He's close to playing football again, and it just hit me. It hit me. I kept asking myself, how can I make an impact with what I've been through recently? I even before the blood clots happened, while we were living in North Carolina, I wanted to find a way to make an impact on communities through what I do. And my wife kept inspiring me, saying, you have a brand, now use it. And I'm thinking, how can I use it to not only help my family, but also to do some good in the world? Well, that's was when this hit me this morning. You see the hashtag at the bottom of your screen for those of you watching on YouTube as well as CSTV. It's the Snowman Stadium Tour, and I want to start it Super Bowl week because I plan to be at Radio Row during Super Bowl week in Las Vegas. And I don't want to visit just football stadiums. I want to visit basketball arenas. I want to visit baseball stadiums. I want it to be a full year plus of visiting every famous college football, professional football, baseball, and basketball stadium that I've ever laid my eyes on. A few of them I've already conquered, but I want to see it from the standpoint of being in the press box to cover those games. And the three purposes, once again, I want to raise money for my family to help get us back on our feet. The second one is a big one to me because I lost both my parents to cancer. And I want to raise a ton of money, as much as I can, for cancer research. And the third one is for the Damar Hamlin Foundation. So let's get the hashtag Snowman Stadium Tour trending. I haven't done the fundraising project. I haven't done the fundraiser yet to get the sorry, this is like really hit me because I really want to do this. I really want to do this. I want to make this kind of impact. Y'all remember the Ice Bucket Challenge? I want to have that kind of impact. I want to have the impact that Tom Grassi had on his 30 for 30 when he raised $500,000 for St. Jude. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help promote the cause, to get the cause everywhere. I want to do this. Sig Diggy joins us from Norway. Good afternoon to you. He says, what are the chances that the franchises of those stadiums will join your tour and match you in donations? Very good. Very good. Because I'm going to blast this everywhere that I can. And I want to start the tour at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis because, as you guys know, my wife is a Colts fan, and I want to treat her to a Colts game in the press box. I don't know what I have to do to get that done, but I will find out. I will get some people in the different states of where the stadiums I want to visit. I will find out. I want to get a big ass RV and tour the country's best stadium, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, soccer. I want to see Arthur Ashe Stadium in Flushing, New York. Yes, the tennis stadium. I want to see that too. I want to see all of it. And I want to use all of it to raise money, especially for cancer research and for the Damar Hamlin Foundation. And I have not begun to calculate what this will cost to get it done, but I want to get it done. I want to raise at least $500,000 for both charities. And I also want to raise a good chunk to get my family back on its feet where we're thriving. I have beaten cancer. Dick Vitale will beat cancer for a third time, and I want to meet him. I want to come up to him, shake his hand, and give him a big hug. And I just want to. I want to do this. There's another fellow who survived cancer. His name is Dave Sims, and I want the chance to meet him too. Every time he goes to Chicago at New Comiskey Park or his home stadium in Seattle, I don't care when it happens. I want to shake his hand and give him a hug and say congratulations for beating cancer. Because when I told him that the cancer has been, when I messaged him the day I had my surgery, the day after, I should say, I had my surgery, April 5th, 2022, I told him they removed the tumor. And when I came home, his message to me was, congratulations. And then he put fellow cancer survivor. That drove me, the fact that my wife looked me in the eyes and told me, I feel like you're quitting, drove me to, this is one of the points where it drove me. Every anniversary I celebrate with my wife is even more special now, coming back from the brink of death. Every day that I'm here now is more celebratory since I've come back from the brink of death. Every chance I have to sit in front of this microphone, host a show, talk to you guys in the chat, talk to everyone that has sent me well wishes over the past 2 years, with everything that's happened in such a whirlwind, that is reason enough for me to continue this fight and to do this cause. And I have a vlog that I'm going to put together from our vacation, and this has just spurred me to go 100 steps further. Now, I know this is going to be a test of patience for me because I'm so anxious and so excited that I want to do this. But I also know it's going to take a hell of a lot of patience, and I know it's going to take a hell of a lot of pull from some people that I'm going to reach out to. You know, another person who I want to shake the hand of, Robert Ford, the voice of the world champion Houston Astros, just to say thanks for coming on my show. I want to meet Gary Reasons for coming on to my show. I want to thank all the guests involved in sports that I've had on my show by doing this stadium tour. I want to do this stadium tour not just for me, not just for Jody, just for my family, but I want to do it for those who have family members that are fighting cancer or who are fighting cancer themselves. I want to do it for those that are involved and have been affected by the Damar Hamlin Foundation. So it's a threefold purpose for for hashtag Snowman Stadium Tour. And I don't know when it will start. I would like to start in February in Las Vegas with Allegiant Stadium. Will it happen in Vegas? We don't know. We don't know when or where it's going to start. It's going to take a hell of a lot of planning. I know that much. It's going to take a hell of a lot of planning. It's probably going to take 6 months worth of planning should we reach the goal that we want to reach and get the equipment that we need to get. I want to have fun with this. I want to meet some of you guys. I don't just want to meet the athletes and the announcers that have come on my program. I want to meet some of you guys in person. And again, and this is an opportunity for those that follow my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Snowman Multimedia, to get the word out and get some more people to come on board this, what's going to be a crazy, crazy ride. And I am so happy that Tom Grossi did this. I am so proud that Tom Grossi did this. And Grossi, I want to meet you. I'm putting it out there. Grossi, you have inspired me, not just with your content and your play-by-play calls and what you've been through, but you've inspired me to do this, to do good. And you're not the only person that has, but you're the most recent person who has. And I want to shake your hand, give you a hug, and say thank you for inspiring a cancer survivor and a cancer winner to go on the road and raise money and awareness for the fight against cancer and the fight for the Damar Hamlin Foundation. I want to do this. I need to do this because I want to show everyone that if you can beat cancer, then doggone it, you can beat anything. I want to thank you guys for allowing me that time to speak at the Snowman Stadium Tour. Let's get that hashtag rolling. No matter what your social media is, I want you to do me a favor, especially if you use Twitter. I want you to tag me whatever social media you use. If you, I want you to tag Snowman Multimedia and use the hashtag Snowman Stadium Tour and get the word out there, and let's get this project going, because I know we can make this happen. I know we can make this work. I'll give you more details as we go along. Whew. Thank you. Thank you all very much for that time. I'll take a break, and when we come back, why are the Dodgers and Padres opening in South Korea? Back after this. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
You can believe it. It is indeed the Brian Snow Show on this Thursday, 20 after the hour. Matt Taylor coming in 15 minutes. And let me thank you guys for that. You want to know something that also spurred it on? The story of Dick Vitale getting vocal cord cancer and him saying, "I plan to fight like hell." He's already beaten cancer twice. I really expect him to do it a third time. I really expect him to do it a third time. And that just inspired me. The thought, the memory of me losing my dad on June 12th of 2007 to prostate cancer, that inspired me. Just a whole bunch of things. Just a whole bunch of things. And now, being that I have been in remission since February 15th, seeing as I've been in remission since February 15th, and seeing what Grossi did for St. Jude, and I'm just borrowing an idea. That's all I'm doing. I'm just borrowing an idea to do my part in trying to make this world a much better place. Dick Vitale is one of my favorite announcers. One of my favorites of all time. And to hear that he has to fight cancer again, it saddens me, but it also encourages me to know that I know for a fact he can do it, that he can beat cancer again. The Jimmy V Foundation is something he cares very, very much about. And the Jimmy, of course, named after the late, great basketball coach Jim Valvano, who said, "Don't give up. Don't ever give up." And I'm not giving up. Did I once upon a time? Let me be real. Yeah, I did. After I got diagnosed. I absolutely did. But if anything, laying on that table at Duke University Hospital in Durham, North Carolina, it taught me um not to give up. It really did. I would appreciate any advice in uh in assistance with this project, and I just want to I just want to do this, and I want to do it so badly it's not even funny. I want to do this so badly for everyone that has either gone through cancer research, cancer, that has either tried to fight cancer, and especially for those who didn't make it, especially for those who are dealing with, especially for the families of those who lost a member of their family to cancer. I lost two of them. I lost my mom and my dad. I lost my dad to prostate cancer. I lost my mother to breast cancer. Now I got to tell you, it's not the easiest thing to deal with. As most of you know how much I talk about my dad on this program. My dad was my hero. My dad was my hero. And I think of him every day. I think of all the folks now after having gone through it that have survived, that have beaten it. And I know I'm rambling along here, but thanks to y'all for letting me ramble because this is very important to me. This is mega important to me now. I want the world to know my story from the standpoint of a cancer survivor, of someone who got challenged by it and then beat it. Now it's the process for me. The process for me now is not just to get my body in better shape, but to keep my mind in better shape. Because a lot of you know, I also fought depression. And I use the past tense fought because I believe I've beaten it. Do I have my days? Oh, yeah. Not even going to lie. I have my days. But now I'm starting to figure out why I have those days. I'm starting to figure out why those days sometimes come in bunches. And they do. They come in bunches. And I just want, I really want to do this. And should it become a yearly thing? that would be even better if it becomes a yearly thing. Would I love for that to happen? Yes, I would. What's up, Rising Rhino? In the house with me. Rising Rhino, I need you to get a hold of me because there's a project I need you to promote on your play-by-play schedule. I'll let you know what that is. No, matter of fact, let me show you. This is for Rising Rhino. Let me show you the hashtag. This is what I'm up to. I'll explain the details a little later. But in Tom O'Boyle joined us. Watch my dad fight Parkinson's the last 10 years of his life. Yeah. That was, you know what's weird, Tom? My dad fought prostate cancer for 15 years. But do you know when he told me and Nicole, my sister, how long he'd been fighting it? 2006. A year before he passed away. And as far as my dad goes, I'll never forget what he told me. I haven't shared this story. I'll share it now. On June the 4th, I had a baseball game scheduled, but I also had a wedding to drive to. And I didn't know which way to go. So I spent most of the morning sleeping. And I woke up and I said, I'm going to go to Dad's house. Because I had just moved. I had just moved. And it was June 4th, 2007. And it's tough. I came to see him and he was a shell of himself. He was an absolute shell of himself. And I broke down and I cried. I said, now what? Because my dad was my hero. I cried in his arms. And I leaned up and I looked in his eyes and he smiled. And he said, you stay busy. Those were his final words to me. Because 8 days later, I went to see him and he was eating crushed ice. And I would watch, I watched him eat the ice and we were watching basketball together. And I remember getting sleepy. Oh, and June the 4th, I decided to go do the baseball game for him because he got me into baseball. He got me into baseball. So I went and did the baseball game because I totally was going to cancel it. 8 days later, I went to see him. He was sitting up in bed. The bed had been moved to the middle of the bed, to the middle of the room, rather. And I remember taking a nap. And it was during that nap where he passed away. Now I got to tell you, when you are with someone that dies, you think it's your fault. And until I met Jody in 2018, I thought it was my fault. I kept a lot of stuff inside. I kept a lot of stuff inside me. That was recently one of the things I finally let go of. That it wasn't my fault that Pops died. He had run his race. He had run it to the best of his ability. And his body was tired. His body was absolutely freaking tired. It was exhausted because he battled prostate cancer for 15 years. 15 years. And boy, it was tough seeing him go. Sometimes to this day, I think about him and I just break down into a pool full of tears. And Jody calms me. She lets me cry. And she'll say, tell me a good memory about him. And I got many of those to share. I got a lot of those to share. And for that, Jody, baby, I thank you. And she has been on me about being active in my healthcare post-surgery and post-cancer fight. Because we do not want a repeat performance of the blood clots, of the pancreatic cancer, or anything else that may come along and try to get us. No way. I don't care what I suffer through bodily, in terms of food, in terms of what I eat and how I eat it. I don't care. I made my wife a promise of a 50th year anniversary, and I'm going to fight my ass off to make that happen. Get out of here. Doggone fly. I made my wife a promise of a 50th year anniversary, and I'm going to fight my ass off to make it happen. I mean that. I mean that more than anything y'all know. At Recruiting Giants, our mission is to connect exceptional talent with exceptional companies. We strive to provide innovative and tailored staffing solutions to help organizations build successful teams. By leveraging our expertise and extensive network of industry professionals, we aim to drive growth, foster long-term partnerships, and positively impact the success of both our clients and candidates. We are dedicated to delivering exceptional service, exceeding expectations, and becoming the preferred staffing partner for businesses looking to recruit top talent. For more information, email Mark Zanetto at info@recruitinggiants.com or call 336-587-3659. That's 336-587-3659. Forgot to read the last line. Recruiting Giants, where talent meets opportunity. Oh, man. Thank you all for that time. Matt Taylor is next after the break. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next-level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
We continue on this edition of the Brian Snow Show. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a crazy Thursday, to say the least. But football's on the way, and y'all know one of the teams I follow is the Indianapolis Colts. And here's their voice right now. He joins me. His name is Matt Taylor, a good buddy of mine. He joins me right now. What's up, Matt?
Hey, how we doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Hard to be any better.
Yeah. Football's on the way. Of course, season's almost right around the corner, which means training camp starts soon. What's the early attitude of this team? You know, with the new coaching staff drafting Anthony Richardson, what's the early attitude of this team coming into camp?
Well, I think the attitude is just, fresh slate, wipe away everything that happened last year. You were 4-12-1, and I don't need to rehash everything with the drama and the circumstance surrounding, the head coach and, certainly, the 7-game slide to end last season. So I just think it's a fresh start, and you've got a lot of core pieces back on both sides of the football that can take this team to where it wants to go. But obviously, the most important position in the game is quarterback, and the Colts right now have some, a competition there with Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson, the rookie who they drafted 4th overall in the draft. It's where they're at with those guys, and can they get some quarterback stability finally as a franchise, right? Because regardless of whichever guy starts, the Colts are going to have a 7th different starting quarterback week 1. And so they're trying to find answers there and try to bring everybody up around that starting quarterback, like, your wide receivers and your running game, and help the offensive line. So I just think attitude wise, it's a fresh start. It's a blank canvas, and this team can write, whatever story it wants to, but they just obviously have to start executing better, and they need to start getting some more stability out of their best players, who, quite frankly, last year, collectively did not play up to their standards, did not play up to their potential, and did not play up to their contracts. And that, I think, was a big reason why the Colts, had some failures last season. So I just think everybody kind of looking in the mirror collectively in the offseason, trying to right this ship and trying to get, maybe a potential rookie quarterback up to speed and feeling as comfortable as possible going into a potential week 1 start.
One of the biggest pieces of this Colts offense, of course, is Jonathan Taylor, and an injury bug hit him. Should Anthony Richardson be the starter for week 1, how big is the presence of Jonathan Taylor going to be for him?
For him, it's huge. I think it's everything. I really do. I mean, I think your best friend, if you're a rookie starting quarterback, is your running game and is your tailback that is as good as Jonathan Taylor and can potentially rip off big runs like Jonathan Taylor has historically shown that he can do. So, I mean, I don't think there's a player that benefits more than Anthony Richardson's presence than Jonathan Taylor, because it's like playing with a full deck of cards. It's like playing 11 on 11 instead of 10 versus 11 if you have a less mobile quarterback back there. Right now, the defense has to account for Anthony Richardson, both in the run game and certainly in the passing game. And it just helps everything. It helps Jonathan Taylor with, opening up holes. It helps the offensive line not see nearly as many stacked boxes. It helps Jonathan Taylor maybe create an extra running lane and an extra running alley because of the threat of a inside zone or a zone read. Anthony Richardson being able to pull the ball out of a shotgun situation, out of the breadbasket of Jonathan Taylor, and take off and run himself. It's going to hold those defensive ends and linebackers just that extra second, that extra little beat because of the uncertainty with Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson in the offensive backfield together. So those two guys, I think, could potentially pose big problems for defenses in the running game when they're back there and sharing the same backfield. And I think it helps the passing game too, because in theory, you're going to have more one-on-one matchups outside the numbers for like Michael Pittman Jr. and Alec Pierce to take advantage of. So I just think Richardson just adds this extra dynamic that the Colts just quite frankly haven't had in a long, long time. And you saw it be successful last year, schematically with Jalen Hurts and Shane Steichen together with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not saying they're the same player. I'm not saying it's going to be the exact same scheme, but principally, it's hard to account for a quarterback that can do so much athletically and just, it just very, very real. There's no one that can do the things athletically that Anthony Richardson has shown that he can do, whether in game film or, you saw it at the combine. So it's just really, really exciting to see what he can bring and the pressure he can put on defenses. Now, that being said, right, he still has a lot of inexperience going into this game.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of things he has to learn. He has a lot of things to fine tune, like red zone and footwork, scheme mastery, precision, accuracy, all of that. That's going to come with time. But the Colts are trying to balance, trying to win and be competitive early in the season. Maybe it's you lean on a guy like Gardner Minshew. But at the same time, we all know that the only way to get truly better is by playing. And I don't know how that's going to go. That's a huge storyline going into camp. But I think the motto around here is let's just give him as much time as we can, a time on task, experience, and joint practices, preseason games, because truly by playing is the only way Anthony Richardson is going to get on the path of seeing how good he can be and reach his potential ceiling in the NFL with the Colts.
Up front, the offensive line, which was a strength of theirs 2 years ago, of course, led by All-Pro Quentin Nelson, and the line just didn't perform up to their capabilities. So how big of a bounce-back year is this for that collective unit?
Yeah, I really don't think it's hyperbole to say that. I mean, if you look at all the troubles the Colts had last year, and there was a lot of them on both sides of the football, but if you just boil everything down to one unit not performing up to standard, it would be the offensive line, right? I mean, we always hear that cliche that the game starts up front, right? The game is won in the trenches.
Yep.
I think you saw that last year. I mean, I think 60 sacks allowed and all the pressures, all the tackles for losses allowed. I just don't think that's indicative of how good this unit is and how much talent it has coming back. I mean, the core of this offensive line, right? You got Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly and Braden Smith. That's the core. They're not that far removed from leading the league in fewest sacks allowed in 2018 with 18 sacks that year, right? I know you got a new left tackle in Bernard Ryman, but I tell you, man, he really looks the part now. He's had a really good offseason. He's put on all the right weight. He looks good. He's been lifting his tail off. He just looks like the part now. You can tell he's in great conditioning. The footwork, I think, has improved, and he's just determined. He just has that mindset to be great in this league. So you like where he's at. You still have a little bit of uncertainty on what's going to go on personnel wise at right guard, but I think for the most part, again, I talked about, just that whole mindset of having a blank canvas and a fresh start. That's what this offensive line, I think that it's really embodied within that unit, because you've got a new position coach, Tony Sperano Jr. He's a young guy. He communicates well. He can bond with these guys. He kind of is, really, really kind of in tune with how they tick, how they operate, just because he can kind of, I think jive with them because of the youth and the experience that he has. But I think he, more so than anything else, I think what he's done is he's simplified a lot of things. He is, communicated very well, but he's just also very clear on, this is how we're going to do it. These are the expectations. But he simplified core principles. He simplified the playbook and the scheme. So these guys don't have to potentially think as much and process as much. Just go out there and play football, right? Just go out there and keep the guy in front of you. And that's the biggest thing that just didn't happen last year. I know they didn't have a mobile quarterback back there, whether it was, Nick Foles or Matt Ryan, but certainly, the threat of Richardson's going to help across the board with this offensive line, because in theory, they shouldn't see nearly as many stunts and blitzes and line games at the line of scrimmage. That should help the offensive line process things easier, because last year it was just kind of blood in the water. Colts were having a hard time picking those things up. Plus, they didn't have a quarterback that could do anything when he was heated up in the backfield. So I think, again, fresh start across the board along that offensive front should really help this offense move the ball and score more points.
Matt Taylor joining us here, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, getting you ready for this coming season. We'll be doing this throughout the course of the summer and then take you through the 2023 season. One more thing, the receiving core for the Colts, whether it be Minshew who's starting or potentially Anthony Richardson who starts. Who needs to step up in the receiving core and give their quarterback a target to throw to? Because something we talked about a while back, when they needed a third down conversion, more often than not, they didn't get it. And the receivers did not step up and be there for their quarterback like they needed to be. So who will be on the hands team for the Colts to eliminate that problem on third down?
Yeah, see, I'm kind of sneaky bullish on the Colts wide receivers, especially once you get Josh Downs back. He is their rookie draft pick out of North Carolina in the third round. He missed some time in the offseason, or the spring, I should say, with a hamstring. Not sure if he's going to be ready for the start of camp or not, but I'm just sneaky bullish on the talent the Colts have at wide receiver, right? You got Michael 1,000 yards. If the Colts have anything close to quarterback stability, which, knock on wood, I know that hasn't been the case the last couple of years, but He's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. Alec Pierce, I think, is poised for a breakout season, and he had a really good season last year for a rookie. And even he will admit that towards the end of last year, kind of hit that rookie wall, experiencing a little bit of a roller coaster in terms of the length of the season and trying to acclimate to life in the NFL and having to bring it every single week. And then obviously quarterback instability around him affected him and just what he can do in this offense. The Colts weren't able to push the ball down the field like they wanted to. I think that's where Pierce shines, right? Those contested catches, that ability, near the sideline or on the sideline to high point the football, to box out a defensive back and just go up and get the football. That's where Pierce is going to shine. So he's destined, I think, for a lot of big explosive plays within this offense, especially if Richardson's the quarterback, with his ability to throw the ball deep and to put it where his guy can get it. So I think that's where Pierce comes into play. And then Ashton Dulin is back. I'm telling you, do not sleep on Ashton Dulin, because this guy has never really had a chance to be a consistent, top 3-4 wide receiver in the NFL until now. He's been a great player on special teams. He was dinged up towards the end of last year, but I'm telling you, Ashton Dulin can play. And then Downs just represents a skill set the Colts just haven't had really within their offense for quite some time. I mean, I can't remember the last time they had a smallish, speedy, shifty, quick possession wide receiver they can line up in the slot. And I know Isaiah McKenzie can do that as well. But I think both of those guys are going to make this football team. There's going to be a little bit of a competition between McKenzie and Downs for that slot. And I'm not sure how the pie is going to break down, but, McKenzie's a guy, he's got great speed. He's been a gadget player, but he's never really been a consistent part of an offense throughout his course in the NFL. I mean, I think he's been in the league for 6 years. And if you go back and look at his splits, he's never really been a guy that's played more than 50% of the snaps more than one season, and that was last year. So he can play. There's no doubt about that. He's a free agent acquisition. Colts pounced on him when he was released by the Buffalo Bills. But I'm saying Downs and McKenzie represent a really good skill set the Colts, I think, can take advantage of within this offense, especially with a guy like Anthony Richardson, right? On first down, or maybe it's second and short, just give the ball in space. Maybe you do a quick wide receiver screen or a little quick hitch to those guys, get a first down, get some yards after the catch. I just think this passing game has to be fixed across the board. And obviously the wide receiver numbers have been down the last couple of years. I think a lot has contributed to that, mainly quarterback. But I think those guys are sneaky good, and most Colts fans probably haven't seen their full potential because of just the whirlwind tornado of stuff going on around them. But I think the Colts have done a really good job of supplementing their passing game around Anthony Richardson or Gardner Minshew with the skill players they have coming back that I think are certainly capable of providing a lot more than what we've seen so far.
Matt Taylor, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, and my good buddy joining me. And knock on wood, Jody and I will join you for training camp. I'm going to put that in motion right now. And soon, my friend, I'll be up in Indianapolis, and I owe you a coffee.
All right, man. I look forward to it. Let me know.
I look forward to it as well. Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts, joining me here on the Brian Snow Show. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
You got it, man. Have a great weekend.
Hey, folks, sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action with live in-game betting, incredible odds, with daily odds, boosters, props, and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service. We got it all. And when you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get a 125% deposit match on BetUS.com. Log on to BETUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. We'll be back. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next-level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
It certainly is the Brian Snow Show. And we thank you for joining us on this Thursday. Next Level Wrestling tonight on CSTV at 10 Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, with two titles on the line, including the Heavyweight Championship will be decided tonight. Tune in to Next Level Pro Wrestling. I am hooked on that show. I can't wait to see that championship match tonight. Hour 2 begins after this. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
We are rolling right along here on the Brian Snow Show. And we're happy to have you all with us on this Thursday. Michael Burmy is on the way to talk Women's Football Alliance, but I'm going to spend some time in the in the Fanatics feedback zone, where Tom O'Boyle of CSTV joins us. Says, I'm here for the start for once. And this was his reaction when I announced the Snowman Stadium tour, which is going to be so much fun. Sick Diggy joining us from Norway says, hello, everybody. And his question from earlier, talking about the stadium tour, what are the chances that the franchises of those stadiums would join your tour and match your donations? Very good, because I just got some key counsel on how to pull this off. And when I run this by Jody, I think she's going to say the same, that I needed to do the same thing. So a hurdle is going to be cleared very, 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 very soon. Talking about Dick Vitale, did he have a trilogy fight like Ali versus Frazier? Yeah, this is the third one. Ryan McCoffey, who gifted me with some Mexican chocolate blend from Invader Coffee, one of the proud sponsors of this show, says, well, at least MOB isn't going to North Korea. Ain't that the truth? Tom says, watch my dad fight Parkinson's for the last 10 years of his life. I didn't realize my dad had cancer until he told us in 2006, because he was strong and everything. But then I started to get a clue of how much he was sleeping after his chemo treatments. I started to get that clue. I didn't get the full on clue until I went through it. And it's something else. Rising Rhino in the house. Rhino, I will get a hold of you and let you know what's going on. Sick Diggy says, I've been going through a bout of seasonal depression as we speak, which is very, very real. Fortunately, I have some tools to write it out, including both shows that you listen to on a daily basis. Men of that generation were always fearful of seeing a doctor until it was too late. That's the truth. My father warned me about staying on top of my health. Mine did the same, and now my wife's taken up the mantle and says you got to be active in your own health care. So many friends have told me that. Daddy Snow is in a better place and free of his suffering. Yeah, no lie to be found there. Dr. K is a remarkable woman. Daddy Snow must have known she'd find you. You know, I say that to her every day. And I said, my dad would have adored you. And I mean every word of that. My father would have adored Jody K. And he wouldn't have cared about anything else except how she is treating me. He wouldn't have cared about a doggone thing else. Somehow he knew. And somehow he was there the day we got married. Question came in during the Matt Taylor interview. Who do you think will take the slot position in number 4 receiver? And I actually responded. I said, I think it's going to take a tight end to do it. Shane Lake joins us from Maine. Says, what have we got going on here, boss man? I'll tell you in a moment. It's going to be talk about women's football. Michael Burmy is next after the break. Stand by. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, if they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk back here. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
There it is. It's the continuation of the Thursday edition. Excuse me. I forgot to drink some water. It's the continuation of the Thursday edition of the Brian Snow Show. Thank you all for joining us. And to kick off this hour, we are presented by Fanatics. Listen, sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams, from jerseys to hats, accessories to collectibles. Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Go to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Speaking of fans and being a fan of something, I'm a fan of women's football. I have become once again a big fan of women's football because these ladies play hard. I haven't had a chance, except for watching on ESPN, to check out a WFA game, but their championships are this weekend. And I have one of the men in charge of the WFA to talk championship weekend. This is Michael Burmy, and he joins me right now. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Brian? So glad. Such an honor to be here on this show there.
Hey, I'm honored to have you, my friend. What got you started with the WFA? What drew you in?
Well, I was pretty. I think you could say I've been a fan of the sport almost since its beginnings there, and I think a lot of it started out with my childhood. First off, when I was saw the '90s, where I grew up, were a good decade for women's sports to advance. I saw them advancing in basketball and soccer and hockey. The one thing that was on my mind was, why not football? And then that was kind of reinforced by maybe always being a fan of, always as a child being a fan of the Peanut strips there. And if you look at the strips, you'll see that the girls were playing on an equal level, sometimes even better than the boys were when it comes to football. Not only was Lucy always pulling the football away from Charlie Brown, but during their pickup games, Peppermint Patty was by far the toughest player there. Snoopy was the only one who could match her.
Yeah.
So this always felt like it says, why aren't women being given a chance to play their own thing, to do their thing in this tackle football game? So you can only imagine the joy I felt when I first heard about the WPFL's barnstorming tour. When I was at a psychological hospital's waiting room there, I saw the article on ESPN, the magazine. I've been trying to follow that. I've had my eye on that ever since then.
Good. Very good. I, too, am really into women's sports. I've been a fan of the women's NCAA since 1982 when they had their first ever Final Four at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. I've called girls basketball for high school. I've called women's basketball, college basketball. I have yet to have the pleasure to call a women's pro football game. Take the fans through that experience, what a game and a game day is like for women's football.
Well, game day is like, it starts off really, the girls they're really prepared. They're preparing for this all day. Some of them have their little ritual. Some of them have little rituals to get them in for the early morning there. Now I'm, of course, a lot of them like to do something to relax, clear their mind off time there. They're not focused on the worries they had throughout the week there. So they can get into this game with a fresh mind state.
Right.
Then roughly about a couple of throughout the game when they start arriving into the stadium there, you can already tell it's quite focused there. I've been blessed enough to be at several. It's a major cooperative process because everyone in every role in the organization does their part to help out to get them ready for this game there. So,
what are the roles that you have held with this organization, and which one has been the most fun for you?
Well, I've been writing the press releases for quite some time there. I've done the game day previews and recaps on my own personal page there. And then I've also been in touch with various teams there, as of relating to all the teams that would be interested in coming on board. And one thing I really enjoy doing the most right now is that right now I am currently the head of the director of research and logistics for WFA International. That's the league's international wing, where we help develop the game in other countries. Right now, we developed in Mexico, Costa Rica, and Colombia, and next we're getting ready for our big World Championships in Mexico 2024, and in addition to our upcoming partnerships in Nicaragua, Guatemala, and we're also in finalizing talks to get something going in El Salvador.
Nice, very nice. What brought you to that position, and how much do you enjoy it?
Well, I'd say what brought me to that position is essentially, as a kid, I've always enjoyed traveling there. It was a joy. Always knowing about what the world was like, So getting to know these other cultures there, and when I saw that WFA launched this initiative to develop the game in other countries, particularly the ones which are not represented in the IFAF Women's World Championships, and that's our focus to focus on these countries the IFAF overlooks. When I saw that, I was ready. I was absolutely excited. And when I went over to Mexico City last year for the International Bowl, I was absolutely captivated by everything I saw there. I absolutely loved the culture they brought there. One of the things you'll find in the international game, all the fans, they're cheering, they're chanting, they're playing they're playing their instruments all throughout like it's a football match here.
Yep.
So I so wish we had that energy in the States.
I do too. The women deserve it because they're working hard. They're putting their teams together. Have you just worked for the league, or have you at any time worked with a specific team?
Well, I live in Racine, Wisconsin, so every so often I assist with my local team, the Midwest Mountain Lions.
Right.
Their territory covers Southeast Wisconsin and Northeast Illinois, basically the entire Metro Milwaukee and Chicagoland. They want to making sure both areas are covered.
Got it.
I've often helped out to lend a hand whenever I could for their local events.
I got you. Now, what is the biggest crowd that you've ever seen for a women's football game? And my backup question is, what can we at Snowman Multimedia do to really help promote and grow the game?
I think the biggest crowd I have ever seen for a game entirely there, that would be sort of a tough question, but I think we've seen Canton there. But I think the stands where there's some games where I've seen the stands most packed there.
Yeah.
That would be one of these. I'm thinking that's one of these games there. A lot of the ones I've been to recently have solid fan support. Like, for example, seeing the Grand Rapids Tidal Waves home opener against the Capital City Savages brought a good crowd, as well as the Capital Pioneers game against the Nevada Storm. Both teams had a lot of recitation there. I think that although it's hard to see it because the bigger stadium, I love the crowds that have been coming to Canton over the last few years.
Yeah. Canton really seems to be bought in with women's football, which is where their championships are this weekend. How long have y'all played the championships in Canton?
Since 2001, since 2021. I mean,
nice.
We started in 2021 here.
That's nice. That's very nice. Michael Burmy joining me, talking women's football and how we can grow the game. And I made a personal request of you, and I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. If there's a chance, I'd love to do the radio call for it.
Well,
I think it'll be fun.
I'm sorry, but I think we've got the broadcast rights. I think we got the broadcast rights pretty well settled we have a deal with Pro Games for the Women's Sports Network and deal with the Pro Championship for ESPN2. However, I'm thinking one thing I point out is I figure that D2 and D3 are often underrepresented, and they could use all the assistance they could. So if you want to broadcast a D2 or D3 game, I would absolutely love that. That's been a lot of the focus of what I've been doing.
Let's get it on. Let's do it. I'd love the opportunity. I'd love the opportunity to do it. Now, this is championship weekend. Everybody's on pins and needles, and you've done this before. What is this weekend going to be like for the players and for all involved?
Oh, it is going to be a one of 10. There is nothing quite like it there. We're going to, from the moment we get this over from the moment we come over into Canton to get in the hotel room to the moment we get back to the hotel room for the gathering there on Thursday evening, to the big get together on Saturday after the big games there. We have this gathering there. It's just you're just going to love seeing it. All the players all around the country, they get to know each other and they get to find out about their experiences there. From all around the country, from Oregon to South Florida, from Maine to SoCal.
Wow. I would love to be a part of this and do like a game of the week or something next season. That's been, since we connected, that idea has been twirling in my head nonstop. If it's for D2 or D3, then so be it. But would just love the opportunity. I can't wait to see the championships. And you're the history buff. What was like the biggest thing in history that you have seen from this organization, or a couple of the biggest things you've seen from this organization in history?
I think one of the biggest things I've seen there Well, first off, I think the deal with Canton, where we have to get we get the championship teams get the display case around in the Hall of Fame for the next year there. That is an incredibly big deal, as well as the deal with ESPN too. That's going to be some incredible exposures there.
It is.
Now, one thing about this, to ask the coach for the game there, when I think I speak for most fans that are not from the New England area, when I think is saying pretty much most of the nation tends to cheer for anyone, is rooting for the St. Louis Slam in this title game right now. Not only because of the St. Louis, but mostly because they tend to cheer for anyone but Boston.
Right. Boston's the big bad wolf, and people want to see them taken down. It's going to be fun this weekend in Canton. It's going to be fun next weekend. I beg your pardon, the 22nd in Canton, Ohio, as championships will be decided in women's football. This is Michael Burmy, and it has been a pleasure, a thrill, and an honor to have you, my friend. And I'd love to have you next season delivering the recaps and everything. And let's grow. Let's really grow this.
It would be my joy. Let's get to talking about this. We will certainly be in touch throughout this off season.
We most certainly will. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the time.
No problem. Take care now.
Michael Burmy joining me here on the program. And yeah, I'm into women's sports. Can't help it, won't help it. Got more for you on the Brian Snow Show after this. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next-level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Y'all didn't hear me. I'm sorry about that. Let me try that again. The St. Louis Slam and the Boston Renegades in the Pro Championship in Canton. That's at 1 p.m. on next Saturday. Next Friday, the New York Wolves and the Oklahoma City Lady Force at 6 p.m. And the West Palm Beach Coyotes and the New Mexico Banditas kick off the Women's Football Alliance Championship weekend on next Friday, the 21st, at 2 p.m. Eastern. Didn't realize that I had muted my mic. I mistakenly muted my mic. You're going to see a lot more pre-recorded interviews during the show because it allowed me a chance to rest. Play-by-play with JJ. What's up, my friend? Good to see you in the house. In the house. Well, thank you guys for catching it. I had to catch it here. I mistakenly muted my microphone. I pressed the wrong button because so used to running the commercials another way where I was automatically muted. But I did correct it. Let me do the list again for the WFA Championship weekend. It starts next Friday, July 21st, where the West Palm Beach Coyotes, I knew I'd fumble that, take on the New Mexico Banditas at 2 p.m. Then at 6 p.m., it's the New York Wolves and the Oklahoma City Lady Force. And then on the 22nd, it's the big one, the WFA Pro Championship, featuring the St. Louis Slam and the Boston Renegades. They have a 1 p.m. kickoff from Hall of Fame Village in Canton, Ohio. Speaking of Brian Sweeney, there he is. He's waiting in the wings for us. We'll get to the interview I had with Brian Sweeney in just a moment, and that will close out the show. But let me ask y'all a question, and I've been wanting to ask this since I disclosed my Snowman Stadium Tour project. What's the toughest fight, be it physical, mental, or emotional, that you had to go through? The toughest fight that you had to go through. I have a few minutes before the interview with Brian Sweeney, and I'm going to play a part of what my toughest fight was, or one of them. I've had a lot of tough fights in my lifetime, a lot, and no, I'm not going to play it. I'm going to tell it. Besides losing my dad to cancer in 2007, 8 years later, I lost my daughter to SIDS. My little baby girl, Donna, who meant the absolute world to me. The game's on ESPN too. Thank you, Tom. I lost my baby girl, Donna, in 2015. And you know the crazy part about that? I was the last one to find out. Because since she was born, I was forced to give her up for adoption. They forced me to sign my rights away. And at that time, I didn't know what to do because I literally had nowhere to go. So in the best interest of Donna, I gave up something that I love very dearly. 2 years later, she passed away. And the last time I saw her, she turned 1. It's the last time I saw her. I mean, I got all kinds of pictures, but those are the only memories I have. I did happen to take a selfie with her. I had her in my arms, holding her like a football, and she just happened to look up at me when I snapped the picture. So yeah, I have that. That's one. You know, the other one that I went through was an abusive relationship with Jody Dials. And I had people warn me, you know, you shouldn't call her name out. Why not? Why not? It's time the world know what happened to me and why I had to face both of those incidents alone. I had to face them both alone. And the third one, my recent health battles with blood clots in both my lungs and with pancreatic cancer. Even now, sometimes when I tell those stories, even though I got through them, it just sends me back there. It just sends me back to those times where I wish there was a way I could have taken their pain away. I wish there was a way I could have taken their pain away. Alas, that wasn't the case. They're no longer suffering. I know that. I know that. But it ain't fair. It just ain't fair. Until I met Jody and had my kids and met my kids, I feel like I have been robbed of fatherhood twice. 2014 and 2015. Actually, 2013, when the family decided to shield her and my baby from me. Her family made the decision that we should have been allowed to make. And as far as Donna goes, you know what the strangest part is? Hey, Tom, you're going to get a kick out of this one. And Shane, I know you remember this because you were the first person I yelled at in anger when this happened. When I was with my daughter's mother, we were just sitting at home trying to recover from the invasion by her family. And it was an invasion, I'll tell you that. It was not easy. It was definitely an invasion. And then I get a knock on the door. And I said, "Who is that?" And the other side said, "This is Child Protective Services." I was shocked. I was shocked. I was pissed. I was angry. I was all kinds of stuff because they actually believed that I could harm my child. They actually believed that. They actually believed that I would harm my child. They wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me any charges. They wouldn't tell me any suspicions. Nothing. Nothing. We can't disclose that to you. That's a lie. That's a flat out bleeping lie. That's a flat out lie. I had to allow them in without cause. And they observed me with Donna and with Liz. They made the determination, we don't think anything's wrong. Then why the blank are you over here? I know they were just doing their. I know they were just doing their job, and they had to. They had to respond to a suspicious call. I get that, but at the time, me just becoming a father at age 40 and the whirlwind that already happened, none of her family except an uncle had the balls to ask me what my intentions were. None of them. None of them had the guts. None of them had the guts to ask me, the father of my child, what my intentions were toward her mother. One of the uncles pulled me aside and had enough gumption to ask me, what are your intentions toward Liz? And I told him. You know what he did? He shook my hand. Know what else happened? He got outnumbered. And so did we. The most unfair thing I have been through in my life. Even with blood clots, even with cancer, even with me all but giving up hope until Dr. K slapped me upside the head and knocked some sense into me. The toughest thing I've ever been through, besides the fight against cancer and the fight against blood clots in both my lungs and congestive heart failure when I weighed a lot more than I do right now, was losing my daughter. My daughter. And my own mother didn't believe me. My own mother didn't congratulate me on the birth of Donna. I'm letting a lot of stuff out now, and I'll let a lot more stuff out tomorrow during Ask Brian Anything Friday. But I feel this was one of those days where I had to flip a script and get this out. My three toughest fights: losing my dad, losing Donna, and then beating back blood clots and beating back cancer. And people who just meet me for the first time wonder why I'm the way I am, why I love laughing, why I love joking around. Because on 3 occasions, my life was just about over. But here I am. I'm still standing. Close it out with Brian Sweeney after this. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next-level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pro is your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
It is indeed the Brian Snow Show. Welcome back, and we are presented by BetUS.com. Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. Live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds, boosters, props, and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service. We got it all. And when you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get a 125% deposit match on your initial deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Also, you can visit snowmanmultimediasports.com for more information. My wife gave me a suggestion to follow women's sports and have that be my niche. You know? With what I saw this past weekend with the Women's Football Alliance, you can say I'm fully invested. And so is my next guest. This man is Mr. Brian Sweeney, and he joins me right now on the road to Canton. What's up, my man?
Hey, great to be here. I appreciate you having me on the show. And listening to your little promo there, I'm wondering if there's betting allowed on women's football yet.
I don't know. I wouldn't do it. To answer your question, I wouldn't do it. I just got them as an affiliate sponsor to help things along here with the company. Speaking of helping things along, what got you started with the Women's Football Alliance and women's football in general?
I fell into it kind of by accident. A friend of a friend, his wife owned the Minnesota Vixen, and my daughter and I went to a game back in 2014. And at the end of the game, I kind of volunteered my services to the Minnesota Vixen. Mm-hmm. And starting in 2015, they signed me on to be a public address announcer. And here we are in 2023, 9 seasons later with them. Back in 2018, the Women's Football Alliance contacted me about helping out with their national championship broadcasts. And here we are 6 seasons later with that. So it's just, it's been great. And the 3rd season of the Road to Canton show as well. Once the Women's Football Alliance signed on to play their national championship weekend in Canton, Ohio, starting back in 2021, we said, hey, let's put together a little show. So the show's gotten better and bigger each year. So we're in our 3rd season of that. So it takes up a lot of time. Granted, my April through end of July is nonstop women's football, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
How much fun is it to produce that, to help produce the Road to Canton? How much fun is it to cover women's football just in general?
It's an absolute blast. Obviously, as the people that follow women's football already know, these women aren't getting paid to play this game. They're out there paying their own way to make it on these road trips, paying for their uniforms, paying for practice facilities. Everything comes out of their pockets. So when you talk to these women, they absolutely love the game. They're playing because they love the game. And when I get an opportunity to talk to them, it's an absolute pleasure to hear their stories, their backgrounds. I mean, you name it. We've got women that are firefighters, police officers, military, nurses, doctors, construction laborers, heavy equipment drivers. I mean, it's all gammas of the blue collar and white collar world that are playing the game of women's football.
And to see that and to have them come together, either as teammates or opponents or both, and for them to share the stories that they shared, not just on the Road to Canton, but throughout the regular season, it's really sparked my interest, because I checked out a couple of the games, and now I'm thinking, okay, where can I help make my mark with the WFA, because this sport is growing, this league is growing, but I'll say it until the cows come home, it needs to grow more. Women's sports needs to be growing more, a lot more.
Yeah, you're 100% correct with that. Women's Football Alliance, this is their 15th season as an organization. Currently, they have just over 60 teams spread out across 4 divisions in the United States. You have a developmental division, so those are typically your newer teams that are just trying to get their feet wet, figure out what women's football is all about. You have your Division 3 teams, your Division 2 teams, and then their top tier division is called the Pro Division. That is your top teams in the country, the largest rosters, some of the best fan bases, some of the richest histories in the game as well.
Now, with the Division 2 and the Division 3, when did those divisions get started?
Typically the same as the Pro Division, actually. Depending upon the season, it's anywhere from the 2nd to 3rd week in April is when the first game of the season is for each team. Currently, since COVID ended, they've been playing 8-week regular seasons with each team playing 6 games, 3 on the road and 3 at home. Prior to COVID, it was 10-week seasons with 8 regular season games for each team. So each team usually starts tryouts October, November, right in that range there. Then you usually have a few months of going over playbooks, learning the plays, classroom, so to speak. January, February, most teams start a little bit of on the field practice. Usually in March, they're putting on all their pads, and that's when they're starting to hit each other. And then, 2nd week in April, 3rd week in April, they're playing games in front of live fans when it matters. How
psyched are you every year to see the signups, the practices, the tryouts, and then 2nd week of April hits, it's go time? I mean, the level of intensity and the level of excitement for you as the voice has to grow every week leading up to the opening week of the season and on down the road to Canton.
It does. It really does get exciting. I mean, and you can see it throughout the season as well. You watch a week 1 Road to Canton show when everything's new. You don't have a lot going on between each teams. And then you follow it up with last weekend's show before the conference championship games, where you've got your 12 teams left. It's going to be narrowed down to 6 teams, and those 6 teams are literally punching their ticket to Canton, Ohio, to play at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Tom Benson Stadium there, July 21st and 22nd.
Now, how did this show come to be?
This show kind of came to be, it was the year after COVID ended, so it was 2021, and Lisa King, the commissioner of the league, she reached out to myself, and we had a couple other people at the time, and she's like, let's figure out a way to get more interest in the game. And so we looked at what the NFL does as far as NBC, Fox, ESPN. They all have their football shows to give people information and to let them know what's going on across the league. And we're like, all right, let's try this. And so that first year was basically 100% of people sitting in Zoom meetings and recording Zoom meetings, talking to each other. Second year, we actually did a little bit more. Second year of the show is when I kind of took over as the editor and the producer of it. And then this year, we're actually in an actual studio weekly recording the show, which is great because it makes a much high definition cameras and and a real producer and a real director on top of what I'm doing. So it just gets better every year. I can't wait to see what the show is going to be next year and the year after that.
Brian Sweeney of the Women's Football Association joining me here this afternoon as we take you on the road to Canton and Championship Weekend, July 21st and 22nd at Tom Benson Stadium in Canton, Ohio. What made the league settle on Canton? What was the draw for the WFA to play their championships in Canton?
I mean, I think it would be the same as the draw for any league that would want to play. You'd want to put the best product in the best facility to bring the best fans to the game. And that's exactly what they're doing there in Canton, Ohio. I mean, the WFA is definitely the best product you can get in women's football right now. I mean, you look at a team like the Boston Renegades, who's looking at winning their 5th straight national championship going back to 2018. They're going to be playing the St. Louis Slam in the Pro Division game, a team themselves that has won multiple national championships, not 5 in a row. However, this, if they win, would be their 5th national championship. So you've got these teams with these storied histories. You look at the Minnesota Vixen, who were the last 2-time runner-ups in the national championship game. Though that's a team that's been around since 1999. Barnstorming tour with them and the Michigan Minks. They would tour across the Midwest, playing games wherever they could to bring attention to women's football. You look at teams from Toledo, teams from Pittsburgh, DC. There's so much rich history in women's football that you wanted to get the best league in what is considerably the best stadium for pro football. And I mean, there's nothing better than having the Hall of Fame right there as you're sitting in the stands watching that game.
Brian Sweeney joining us here on the program, talking all things Women's Football Alliance. Get ready for championship weekend. With the Minnesota Vixen losing to St. Louis, a very cool thing happened at the end of the game as a couple of the originals from the Vixen took their final snap. Tell us about that moment.
Yeah, I wish I could have been there for that. I just became a grandpappy for the first time. I'm going to go by Pop. My oldest daughter had a baby Sunday, so I wasn't able to make the trip to St. Louis, but I figure if that's the reason to miss such a monumental game, I think that's okay. Last snap of the game, 13.1 seconds left on the clock. St. Louis in the victory formation, and head coach Ryan McCulley did something truly amazing. Cynthia Red Bryant, Jody Moose Rylander, 2 of the original 1999 Minnesota Vixen players who prior to this season had basically said, you know what, this is going to be my last season. I'm going to retire at the end of this season. So Minnesota knew that this game was over. Head coach Ryan McCulley sent Moose, sent Red out as the only 2 defenders on the field. And St. Louis, they met them with hugs before the snap of the ball. Referees kind of looked around like, is this really how this game's going to end? And yeah, I mean, it was pretty emotional. I would have loved to have been there, but it was just what a tribute to these pioneers of modern day women's football. And I mean, between the 2 of them, 375 games played, and over 25 seasons. I mean, Red never missed a season, and Moose only missed the 2 seasons when she had the birth of her children. So I think she would understand the birth of my grandchild as well, not being there. So.
Man, big championships this weekend. Want to look at the Pro Division? You got the Boston Renegades going for 5 in a row against the St. Louis Slam. Can anybody stop the Boston Renegades from winning that 5th in a row? Give us a preview of this championship game.
You look at St. Louis this season. During the regular season, their defense did not allow a single point the entire season. In fact, the only 6 points scored on St. Louis during the regular season was on an interception ran back for a touchdown. It wasn't until the Cali War game where an offense actually scored on St. Louis this season. And then when Minnesota came into town, they actually put up a fight. Especially after being shut out twice in the regular season, both at home and in St. Louis. So prior to that game, I would have said, okay, St. Louis definitely has the best chance to beat the Boston Renegades in the national championship. And I still believe that St. Louis is going to put up a fight. It's going to be a great battle. It's probably going to be a lot like the game against the California War back in 2018, when Boston won their first national championship. There was a lot of back and forth. That was a really exciting game. I think this game, the St. Louis and Boston Renegades, is going to be very similar to the game that was played at Kennesaw State University in Georgia back in 2018.
Brian Sweeney joining us here on the program to talk all things WFA, Women's Football Alliance, and the road to Canton. Big game is the Boston Renegades and the St. Louis Slam. Will the Renegades make it 5 in a row, or will the Slam have something to say about it? A pleasure to have you, my friend. I look forward to having you on a whole lot more and helping to grow the sport using the tools that I know, which are the broadcast tools.
No, I appreciate you having me. It's always good to reach out across different networks across the United States. I mean, bring more attention to these women and what they do. And I mean, it's a great game. It's definitely one of my favorite things to attend. Even the games I'm not working, if I can get there and be a fan, I do it as much as I can.
That is wonderful. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate the time. And as I said, looking forward to working with you a lot more.
All right. Thank you for having me.
That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Brian Snow Show. Thank y'all for joining me. And tomorrow, it's Ask Brian Anything Friday on the Brian Snow Show, where you can drop your comments and questions and ask me anything. Nothing is off limits. Nothing will ever be off limits. Y'all know me. I'm very transparent, and I love telling y'all what's going on in my life, and I want to find out what's going on in your life. My time is up. Hope y'all enjoyed it as I enjoy bringing it to you. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow for Ask Brian Anything Friday on the show. So long, everybody.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.